Hey, what's up everybody? It is Saturday on Genderqueer Chat. I am a few days late with this video. Again, I apologize. It has not been a good week. But I think this week's topic is really important, so I wanted to get in at the last moment. So this week's topic, Joe is doing a presentation, doing a workshop, I guess you would call it, with the grade 9 group of grade 9s, and that would be sort of typically, I think, a 14-year-old. So Joe had made this video that sort of went through what they were going to do and how they were going to, do the workshop with these young people, and I think that is just fantastic. I think it is one of the, a really great thing to do. I remember when I was in high school and I didn't have, something like this specifically, but in one of my classes, one of my teachers explained to us the difference between sex and gender, and that was something that obviously was very important for me in my life and just really stuck with me and really resonated, and for ever since then I can remember, every time I went to a doctor's office, looking to see, when you had to check the sex to make sure that it said sex and not gender, and just stuff like that. It really, really resonated with me, and I think that educating young people is just one of the greatest things you can do. It's one of the greatest things you can do for society. It's one of the greatest things you can do for individual people. I mean, people that are, having, some kind of gender issue within themselves, to be educated at such a young age can really, make it so that they don't have to go through so many years of, anger and anguish. I just think it's an amazing thing to do. So I didn't get a chance to watch Jay and Christina's video yet this week. This week has been the week, quite the week, but I did watch Joe's video and I thought it was really great. There's a few things that I sort of just wanted to contribute to, just throw some ideas out there about how maybe to talk about it. I've been thinking a lot about it this week, actually, and I sort of, I kind of go between, is it better to do, the kind of workshop where you do exercises with the kids and you get really, involved and just make it basically a big discussion, or is it better to do almost more like a lecture type thing and just sort of throw all the information you can at them with the time that you have? And I think probably for most people, adults and young people, teenagers, everything, lecturing doesn't sort of get through, I think, as much as, having a discussion and being really involved. So I think that it's a really good thing to do exercises and do, make it very interactive, I think would be, more memorable. And so I think that doing something like the Gender Gumby is a really good idea. I personally, I have some issue with the Gender Gumby just because it doesn't explain everything. It's sort of, there's male, there's female, and there's everything in between, like a spectrum. It doesn't explain that there are people, for instance, people like me that don't identify with a gender at all, so I don't feel that I'm on that spectrum. I don't feel I'm anywhere on that line. I don't feel like there's a place on that Gumby for me, but I think it's a really great place to start when you're first learning about these things, and when you're first, the majority of people, there is a place on that spectrum for them, and I think getting the young people to think outside the box and to see that there are, other options than male and female is really great, and to have them, think about themselves personally, but then be able to think about not just themselves, but the person sitting next to them and, you know, just people in the world in general, I think is a really great thing. And so I think doing something like that is a really, really good thing to do. I also really think what Joe was doing with, you know, getting the students to talk about, you know, to ask the students, you know, make lists of, you know, what is typically considered male and what is typically considered female, and just getting them to think about, you know, why do they think that certain things are attributes, you know, of males or characteristics of males versus females, and just really challenging, you know, that notion of where did you learn that? Why do you think that? Do you believe that it is, you know, something that is intrinsic in all female-bodied people or intrinsic in all male-bodied people? And just really challenging, you know, getting them to really think and just really challenge whatever, you know, notions that they might have picked up along the way from wherever. And I think that also there, you know, in that maybe an education of different terms. Joe went through this as well, you know, the difference between sex and gender, the difference between, you know, transgender, transvestite, all of these things, and also to really explain that sexuality and gender are completely different. This is stuff that I think for people like us, I mean people who have been, you know, involved with, you know, thinking about gender for so many years, it's almost a given. Like, it doesn't even come into my mind to think that sexuality and gender are in the same place anymore, but I know that when people are first introduced to, you know, any type of, you know, gender issues, one of the things that people typically ask, I mean, people that I've educated about, I always get questions about sexuality and how sexuality plays into somebody's gender identity. And so I think that making it very clear that sexuality and gender identity are not related. The only way that they are related is, you know, if you identify as a straight male, you know, you have to identify as male to be straight, but like, it's just not, your gender identity and gender expression has nothing to do with your sexuality, and I think making that clear is a really good idea. Yeah, I think it's just a really great thing to do to, you know, educate these young people, and I'm really glad. I feel that, you know, the people who are getting to participate in this workshop, or whatever you want to call it, with Joe are really lucky, and I'm really glad that you're doing this, Joe. So I don't have a whole lot else to say. I just think it's really, you know, just challenging notions and getting really involved and getting into a discussion with the students and talking, you know, just challenging any preconceived notions that they might have about gender would be a really important thing, and would be, you know, have a big impact on, you know, personally, their lives personally, but also the lives of the people around them, and how they interact with the people around them, and I think it's a really good thing. So, yep, that's sort of all I have to say about this, and I will hopefully see you guys next week. I have been really sketchy as of late. I just want to apologize. I've had health problems. I mean, this week I was in and out of hospital all week, and so I just want to apologize. Yeah, I will hopefully see you guys next week, and yeah, bye.